like there's a four in front of your ages.
The what?
There's a four in front of your ages.
This guy, look at that.
I'm for real.
Wait, you're not 40 something.
Sure.
What are you, 35?
Guys, I'm sure there was some lit activities happening in London. Trust me. Same thing in Japan, but I went with my family, so.
Listen, man, we had a great time. Though, regardless of what the age is, we had a great time. We had a taste of every little right
Yes.
experience in London.
And
That's
the
the
race
beautiful thing about running. You don't get to retire at 40.
and the race
Yes.
was amazing.
Oh yeah.
The race itself was
Oh
amazing.
no, let's talk about the race.
Oh my goodness. So
The weather.
yes.
Oh my god! And what I like about the race is like you start like in the rural place like
El Campo.
El Campo
Suburbia.
somewhere in the suburbs, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the one thing that caught my eye, the race starts. By the way, we got in a little early. We got to start a little early. But with the race starts, boom. What was the first thing that you saw?
People going and peeing.
People started running and going like this.
Yeah.
To pee.
Right away. It was crazy.
The lines were crazy. I did went to use the porta potty, and
This is 3 seconds after the race
No,
starts.
but I'm saying
they had air
'cause-
balloons there too.
There were like 50 people.
No, because they
Peeing in a row.
because
Crazy.
the lines to go to the porta potties were insane. So people said, might as well run. I
Listen,
go pee
and the funny
in
thing
race.
is that don't do it. No, then everybody was just doing it.
Everybody didn't give a-
good, nice highlight too. Like the globe they have
The balloons.
The balloons.
They had air balloons.
the air balloons.
Nah,
And that's a highlight of London, right?
Yeah.
It was great.
Nah, London, like it was an amazing race. It's something that you definitely need
Oh.
to do.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No. Again, it was fun from the beginning to the
Listen,
last.
man, I tell you, I was supposed to run London like slow, easy, right, Archie?
Yep.
I said I'm just gonna take it easy because I know that we're gonna have Chicago next week. When I tell you that there's cheering from the moment you start,
Yep.
from the moment you start to the end, there's no quiet place.
Yep.
Even like under the bridges, they have a speaker there with music and 2 or 3 people cheering.
No, like the sidewalks were packed.
And listen,
When I'm telling you, like from the row where the sidewalk begins to the actual buildings, it
Yes.
was a party. Like it was the entire distance. It was insane. It was fun. It was crazy.
And people calling your name too.
oh yeah. So people calling your name, and the thing is that there was times that I was tired and I was stopping, and they're like, "Come on, what are you doing, Sam? Come on, get up, let's go."
People will call your names if they know how to pronounce it.
Yes.
So
Because my name,
so what I
They
did.
didn't call you?
So
¿Qué iban a decir? Alcibiade.
You had to see Alci. You had to put Alci.
So what I
Make
did.
it easy.
So I got this from Carlos, right? When we went to Berlin, Carlos has his name, which is a common name, Carlos. I had Smin. No one could have pronounced it. So what I did this time in London, I used my middle name, which is what most people call me, Samuel, Sam, Sammy. I put Sammy, and people were like, "Come on, Sammy, come on." I couldn't stop.
Yes.
People were. That's why I made my best time because they were like, "Come on, get up, come on, you gotta go." And it was just an amazing experience.
And let me tell you, I don't know you. I can't remember what shirt you had.
No, we all had the same shirt.
had the same shirt, yeah, from the
leukemia.
from
yeah, the
charity,
leukemia. Yes.
Yes, I forgot. I might be confusing the race because I remember one of these races I got de lo mío, and you have no idea how that feels.
I don't know if it was in London.
Probably not because
No.
I didn't have the
I didn't
Dominican
see any
shirt.
Dominicans
that
over
one.
there.
Yeah.
So one of the mistakes that you made was that you put your name in the back.
Yes, no,
the
you have to
front.
put it in the front.
You have
Yes.
to put it in the front. So
Definitely
they can
put it
see
in the front.
right? Because after you pass it, whatever.
Yeah.
I put my kid's name in the back, and I put my name in the front.
Yes.
And forget it. It was not. I think London, without a doubt, is the only major that you can compare, like noise-wise, cheering-wise, to New York.
To New York, yes.
No,
And I will
absolutely.
say that
and not
is
for nothing,
right there.
And I don't know if it was post-COVID. I don't know if it was because this was post-COVID.
Yes.
It was the first run that pretty much London. London had opened before, but it was the one that had the least restrictions after the pandemic.
Yes.
People wanted to be out.
And,
Oh,
and,
yeah.
let, and let me
Wanted to
tell you
be
something.
And
Berlin, when I did Berlin the first time, was a little more cheery than the second time.
okay, yeah, because we did it during the pandemic. Now, that sounds about right because some people were telling me, "Are you sure London was like cheery like that?" It was there when I went.
Yes.
No,
So I think it was because it was after the pandemic. People were just so happy.
It was
So happy to
it
be
was
back
because
out.
we ran it.
We ran. There you
Yeah,
go.
ran it. Hey, come on, man.
You hit the
You
nail
get
on
to
the
see
head,
me run
bro.
in another country. Come on, guys.
You gotta shoot a shark.
You gotta shoot the shark. Come on.
You got to see
Samuel
Sammy.
Sammy.
You got to see
Alcibiades, el
Alci,
Matatán.
El Matatán.
El capitán.
Speedy Gonzalez over here.
¿Qué pasa? Estamos todavía hablando. We're still talking about London. Amazing race, amazing experience, fun. The Tower Bridge, which a lot of people confuse it with the London Bridge. It's not the London Bridge, it's the Tower Bridge. It was insane. It was fun.
I recorded the whole thing when I was crossing by.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way I'm crossing this thing and not record it. I recorded the whole
it
thing.
it was amazing. Like Smin said, he had a PR. I was conservative. I kept my heart rate where I wanted. I kept my pace where I wanted. Could have done a little bit faster as a runner. I would say yes. But again, it was perfect. I can't take anything away from that. I had an amazing time. I had a great time. I really, really enjoy. The only thing is that didn't come with me was my family. My family usually comes with me. In this race, they didn't come in, but I had a surprise for them. I was going to bring them to Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago's next. So
All right. Take it away, Chicago.
So I I travel by myself, as always. Alcibiades travel with his family, which is like my family. Chicago, I was a little bit afraid because I keep hearing, the weather gets really cold because it's windy city, blah 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 blah. It wasn't bad for us.
We already got 3 medals.
Yes.
Yes,
We
but
already
this time
got, we got 3 stars. 3 stars.
stars.
3 stars. Not
This
medals.
is
They
4.
stars.
This is 4.
This is going for the 4th.
For the 4th.
So, tell me about your story in Chicago. Tell me about your experience in Chicago. I'm gonna tell you about mine. I'm not saying a lot on these episodes because I'm usually the one talking here.
Yes.
I want you guys to talk, but I'm gonna tell you my story in Chicago, and you'll see the difference.
So Chicago is, coming from New York, you're like, oh, New York, all these buildings, all this architecture, But when you go to Chicago, since it's a newer city,
How was the weather?
before I talk about the weather, the architecture, right? The buildings,
Okay.
like the sceneries, where everything city-wise is like amazing, right? We went to that.
With the race start where it begins in the park.
Yes.
Centennial Park, that's what it's called?
I think so. Yeah.
No,
Did
no,
you
no.
did you get to see the bean?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
I didn't even get to see it.
I know.
Cállate, casi la cocinaban.
Alci. But before we even talk about the race, we had a great time, right? The food and
No,
everything.
we had an amazing time. Like I went with my family.
Yeah.
We did a couple of walks on the city, on the town.
It was my birthday, and we went out
Yeah.
to this nice party, right? We had a great time in that party.
Did we run? It was right it was the night before the race. Or it was like 2 nights before.
2 nighs before.
2 nights. Escape. I
I
don't
think it was like Thursday.
So
or
I
Friday.
usually don't consume any alcohol
Until he
until
listens to me.
this guy messed me up because he said that it was his birthday.
Listen, man, we went to this rooftop. The guy said, "Oh, they were charging," and I don't know. He felt like not charging us. He said, "Oh, I think it was like $30 or whatever," and then he was like, "Oh, just go home." And we went.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
The music was very nice. We went and we had a great time there. I had a great time. I mean,
Nah, the thing, yeah. We were dancing. It was fun. It was loud. It was. Again, I'm not used to doing these type of things before a race, but because it's my brother's birthday,
Sometimes you gotta
my-
bend the rules a little bit.
It's my brother's birthday.
It's about the experience, guys. Come on.
It's about the experience.
That's it. So yeah. So
And by this time, you're thinking more like, let me enjoy myself
course.
rather than just kind of try to kick ass and get some crazy time.
yeah. I mean,
Nah,
he's
it
gonna
was-
do a great time regardless, right? Because he
Yeah,
did.
it was fun.
So it was
fun.
very fun. I mean, the city and everything, and then the race.
The race.
It was cold in the morning.
It was cold, but
How-
it wasn't
how
windy.
cold?
No,
How
so
cold?
obviously everybody knows Chicago is a windy city. Everybody knows, hey, this is the windy city. Thankfully, that morning it was cold, but there was no wind.
No,
There was no wind.
you went before me. Remember, I went just like I think it went like maybe like half an hour before I started
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I was like, let me just.
I gotta give a shout out to my friend Alex. He definitely hooked us up. A couple of us managed to go into one of those VIP tents. So Alex, big shout out. He's doing 17 miles this week. By the way, so we could put some timestamp on this podcast. New York City, guys, is freaking smoke outside. like the smoke from Canada.
Get
And we're
a
not
li-
gonna talk about
Get
that.
a little closer to the mic, just a little
This
closer.
this is like a lot of smoke.
So
It's not that bad
New York
today. It been
No,
worse
today's
yesterday.
yeah, but yesterday was bad.
So we are recording during the time that we're getting the smoke from Canada, and
The
today
wildfire.
would have been the third day that we're getting the smoke.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yesterday was really, really,
Really,
bad.
really
Nah,
bad.
like yesterday,
It was
like,
yellow.
I felt like I had an ashtray in my mouth.
Yes.
But yeah, it's been crazy. But going back to Chicago, the weather was perfect for running. It was colder, but again, the more you run, you're gonna get used to this type of weather. Obviously, the gear that we wear. But even then, like, I don't think I wore anything. I just
No.
literally kept my shirt
Yeah,
on.
I did.
So my experience in Chicago was a combination of a lot of things. Number one, I wasn't with anybody that even knew English. It was my friend from Dominican Republic, Henry. Mm-hmm. I think you met Henry.
Of course, I did. Yeah.
Dame la
man.
medalla de Chicago.
So I was trying to keep cost to a minimum during that time because I was doing a lot of races almost every weekend, going somewhere to do some races. So I'm trying to keep costs like really, really low. So I decided, let me find like a cheap hotel because Chicago is not cheap near the start and the finish, especially around the race. And I decided to stay a little away from there.
What did you stay?
I don't even know the name of the hotel.
Because
or
I
the
stood
town.
somewhere. I stayed at
He stayed in
Chinatown.
Carajo land.
Exactly. I had to take a train to get in.
I stayed in Chinatown. It wasn't bad.
And-
Actually, the race.
And let me tell you,
I passed by my hotel and like my 18,
I hate
and
that.
I wanted to stay. I was like,
I
oh my
hate
god,
that.
I want to
I
stay.
hate it. I hate that. So it wasn't like one of the regular trains. It was one of those commuter trains that you had to come from out of town to come in.
Oh,
It
no,
was
I didn't-
one of
I
those
didn't
trains.
wanna
That's
do
how
that.
far I was
I
staying.
didn't want to do that because Chicago gets get very scary.
So it was a combination of that, and on race day it was freezing. I'm telling you, it must have been like 36 degrees,
And Carlos loved to get to the race really, really, really early.
and I like to get to the race really, really, really early, and
Really, really early.
and it was windy. I mean, really windy. Here's the problem. I brought in one of those thermal blankets. Henry didn't bring one. Henry is from Dominican Republic. So the guy
wasn't
was
prepared.
the guy was dying.
He was dying. I imagine.
I was like, shit. I had to cut the blanket and give him half so he could have something.
And here you go, two big guys because these two guys are like almost 6 feet tall.
Yeah, Henry's pretty tall.
He's
too.
tall, you tall too, and this little blanket.
The problem-
it's an airplane blanket, right?
No. The thermal blanket, the little blanket they give you when you finish, and it's a little cold.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah.
That.
I had to break that in half, give him half. The problem is that we're not even on the same corral. He's much faster than me, so he's in another corral.
he is, yeah.
Bro, it was so cold.
That's how you met him?
No, I met Henry in Staten Island like years before, when I used to do more Spartan racing than anything else.
Okay.
dude, it was so cold. People would take off their like, they're feeling good, they're warmed up, they take off their jackets, throw it on the floor, and I'm looking at it like,
Should I? Man, I feel like taking this shit right now.
bro, the only reason I didn't take it is because literally there was all the people nearby, and I was ashamed of them seeing me pick it up.
No, it's
I would have done it.
it's the principles, man.
If
and the way
if I
you were
was
raised.
alone, or maybe there was like half of the people there, I would have picked
how
it
many
up.
people of those have you seen ever since that race?
None.
I would have done it.
Exactly. That's
There would have been a grajito somewhere, but
Yo, it was
listen.
so cold.
That's the same way I think. I'm like, am I ever gonna see these people again? No, okay.
Yeah,
hell with it.
I didn't think about that,
I
and
had-
I should have. I should have thought about that.
full disclosure, I never done it.
No, me
Now-
either.
now-
Neither, pero if I'm in the situation,
I'm cold.
Out of
I just get
all-
if I'm in
cold.
that situation,
Out
I'm-
of all the races, Chicago is my least favorite,
I know you. Keep
and
saying
not
that.
only because of all of that. After the race, it took me like an hour to find one car, like an Uber that we called, and they kept canceling. It took me like an hour to find a car that would take me back to the hotel.
wow. So Chicago, what did we do? That we stay in the city, so that's
We
important.
went to the rooftop of your hotel.
Well,
After
before
the
that,
race?
we
After the
went to
race?
a Bulls game. We also went to the Bulls game.
Oh, we went to the Bulls game.
We
This
went to the
guy
Bulls
also.
games,
This
man.
guy's good with the games.
We went to the Bulls.
Listen,
hey, I had my
man.
family. I had to take my son
No,
and my daughter.
listen, man.
my
It was
wife.
just a great experience. Like, how could you go to Chicago and not go to a Bulls game?
Yo, Chicago.
this guy
like, not
thought
for
about all
nothing,
that, man.
Like again,
Me and this guy were like little kids. Like, oh my God.
1990s, man. Yo,
Can you
the Bulls.
can you imagine if I'm time traveling right now, but can you imagine going to do a marathon and then saying, "Hey, let's do a Chicago game," and Michael Jordan is still playing? My goodness!
Forget it.
Wow,
Yeah.
No,
That
we
would've been-
weren't that lucky.
that would have been crazy.
He retired maybe like 40 years before. Nah.
No, but you know what? We had a great
just
time.
just a little bit of
Yeah.
time in
Nah,
between.
it was an amazing experience. My family went. Again, they were here for. They were there
Oh,
for
that day was really cold.
that day. Yeah. That
We
day.
had to make a line because
the
his
second,
wife.
the
His wife
second
had,
day or the day after?
No,
The same
but-
day of the marathon.
So they
after.
didn't allow purses or bags into the stadium. So obviously we went with my kids and my wife. She had brought in a purse. They didn't allow it. And what I ended up doing was, Smin and I ended up going to put the purse away. Obviously, my wife went in with the kids. They started watching the game.
Right.
It was freezing
So
outside.
you had to go back to like your hotel to drop
No,
off.
no,
No.
We
They
had to go. Like they got
they had a truck,
like a
But they were
truck that
keeping-
you do it.
but it was
Okay.
a big line, like a big
Yeah,
line.
but again,
Got
we
it.
wish and guys, not for nothing. It was a preseason game.
yeah.
They come on.
But really, no bags at all.
No bags at all. So
That's
we were
crazy.
unfortunate that happened.
That's crazy because in like a Yankee stadium, they just open the bag, look inside, make sure it's
Well,
all
it
good.
really
and-
depends the size of the bag. Yankee Stadium, sometimes they ship people away. They got
Okay.
lockers and stuff like that. So
Okay.
if you're going to a stadium, make sure you read your
Don't bring a
ticket.
big.
Don't bring something big. Bring something small. You know.
All right. Any final thoughts on Chicago? We gotta move to Tokyo.
So Chicago, amazing experience. My family was a mile 13, and they were also a mile 25. So big shout out to my wife Denise, my daughter Camila, and my son Pablo.
Nice.
My sister-in-law was there as well. So I want to give a shout out to Jackie. I love you guys all. Like it was amazing what you guys did for me. Like that's the important thing, you know.
Yes.
Like when your family is around,
Yes.
it helps. Or even again, if your family cannot travel, even having a running community, a running
Friends.
club, or
So-
something like that. So
so-
in Chicago, I saw like el alcalde de New York City. I saw Hector, which is he's one of the co-founders of We Run Uptown.
Okay.
And again, mile 20 something. I forgot what it was. I actually ended up seeing him, and he was like de lo mío, and like yo, a pound, like yo,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
guy un
It gives you
coro,
it gives you a
so he was
boost. It
like-
gives you a boost when you
it-
see those friendly faces.
It does. And then my other boy was there from Diamond Run Club, my boy Eddie. Me and Eddie pretty much almost ran the marathon together the whole time. We were keeping he was ahead of me, so he was keeping me motivated. And it was awesome. So again, the more you run, the more you get to meet these communities, Again, the running community is beautiful. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of running clubs. If you guys wanna initiate into running, there's a lot of support out there. A lot of
Definitely
support.
find friends and joins one of the clubs.
Do it. It's fun, and guess what? You get to have beers at the end of the race.
And sometimes you find a crazy friend that's doing a podcast. And
And another crazy friend that makes you sign up for more crazy stuff.
so, Smin, final thoughts on Chicago.
Remember, it was my birthday week, right?
Yes.
I just finished running a marathon, and I feel great.
Yes.
Like I was not tired. My legs were fine. My body, there was no, I was not like in pain. I was like, you know what? Feeling good.
Papa, we just ran 50 miles a couple of weeks before.
Of course. Exactly.
Dime tú, back-to-back marathons.
Forget about it. So I was there. I went by myself. Obviously, I was with family, but this guy's so faster than me
Right.
that I didn't see the family. That I didn't see
right.
people that were waiting.
Right.
So I see all these people like with with the big signs and everything, cheering for their family. I got emotional, man. Again.
Yeah.
I was like, man, what's my family? Like, I wish my family was here.
Dude, it's tough because
It's tough.
Before I started doing the majors, I did a whole lot of races, and that was one of my things. Like, you start looking for faces that even remotely, and sometimes you can't find
but
them.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like, I've gotten so used to like seeing the signs and seeing people cheering that in my mind, automatically I think that they're there for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's like my family's there, but it's not the
Whatever
same.
you got to do, whatever you got to do to get through it.
I'm like, man, like, oh man, I like something was just hitting me. Like, man, I miss my family. It was my birthday week and it was a big accomplishment, so I kind of needed the support. So I saw Jazz Brooklyn, this girl that I know from shout out to Jazz. Jazz, when I saw you, it was like God said, I felt so good. I met Jazz in college. We were in college together.
So one question: did you end up running next to her, or she was in the crowd?
No, she was in the crowd.
Holy!
She knows a lot of the crews, whatever, and she was I think she was like with Brooklyn something or Bronx,
Right.
one of those runners,
Right.
crews, and she was just there cheering. And when she saw me, she got in the race and she started running with me and recording me.
Okay.
And it felt so like I have the video in my Instagram, Sam_Gram09.
You gotta send it to me quick because
I'll
now
send
we
it to
gotta
you.
now we gotta show it to the people
Look, man,
watching.
when I saw her, I acted like a kid when it gets a new toy. I was like enjoy, and it really, really, really made me feel so good and special. It's really important when you have that support.
Absolutely.
In the crowd because you keep looking, and when you saw somebody, when you see even a familiar face,
Yep.
you already feel like like you're a star. So yeah, man. Chicago was nice. Finished. I tried to beat the time from London. I didn't. I'm okay because it was just like maybe like 5-10 minutes later.
Listen,
Back
it was
to back.
It was
It was a
second.
back-to-back.
It was a second marathon back to back. Be grateful that you finished.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that's what I said, right? And I had the opportunity to finish, but then I saw my heart rate, spiking, and I was like, you know what? I'm not.
Safety, guys. Make
Safety
sure.
first.
Absolutely.
Safety first.
I said, you know what?
We are paying for these things.
So you're paying to die.
Hey, tampoco así.
No.
If it's at that level.
No. I don't want to scare anybody, but what I'm saying is that if you don't be careful and you don't watch and you know,
Again, take care of yourself.
Really,
care of yourself.
really important. Look, I'm gonna put the camera here. We're paying to do these races, and they're supposed to be fun. It has to be said. You have to take care of yourself. You have to pay attention to how you're feeling, and sometimes it looks like a lot, and it may be, but it gets easier to keep track of all those things. You got to keep, how you're feeling. How is your body reacting to the race? How's your heart rate
Your water
during
intake.
the race? How's your water intake to the race? Water intake,
fuse.
very.
Do your body checks.
As a
Do
matter of
lot
fact,
checks.
Carlos, I have to listen to you.
That's where I'm gonna go. Your water intake not only during the race, before the race. If you want to know what I mean by that, go watch the last two episodes. 08 episode 08 if you're English speaking, episode 09 if you're Spanish speaking, and you'll see what we mean. I had a situation with water a couple of weeks ago. Thank God for all of you guys that were next to me, right? So that's what I mean by that. Water intake is very important. But I kind of lost my thought with that one because I went back to those 2 weeks.
That's fine.
But it's important to keep check of how you're feeling. That's what it was. How you're feeling during the race, heart rate, your body. How is it reacting to the stress that you're putting it through? Your
Temperature.
Right? Weather. How you're reacting to the weather. Whether it's if the weather is cold, how you're reacting to it. Are you comfortable? Are you too cold? If the weather is hot, are you getting too hot? Are you ventilating enough? Man, I lost it again.
That's what happens when you drink and
When you're drinking and trying to make a show.
when you're drinking podcast.
Don't drink on podcast. So no, the point is you have to keep an eye on what from your heart rate to are you sweating enough? Normal temperature, right? If you're cold, are you still sweating? If it's hot, are you sweating too much? Are you drinking enough to compensate for what you're sweating? So just wanted to make that little emphasis there because of the situation that I went through. So go watch those episodes and let's go back to this.
Yeah, I mean, we had a great time in Chicago, right? Back to Chicago.
Yep.
It was nice weather for us. We got to finish, and it was a very nice race,
All right, so now we've been recording for an hour and 45. And again, this is going to be broken down into many different episodes.
By the way, Chicago is a city with 4 stars. And guess what star was this?
Number 4 for us.
Number 4 for us.
Nice.
Just remember that.
Nice. I kept seeing that the
4
flag,
stars.
the flag, and the bear, and the 4 stars, and I didn't even realize what it was. I kind of figured it must be something, with the city. I didn't know it was the actual flag.
It is the flag of the city.
They changed the flag for us.
Really?
So we could have 4 stars.
Exactly.
All right. So what I was going to go is let's jump to Tokyo, which is the most recent race that we did. And I know we're going to spend another 30 minutes on this one, but let's try to make it quick on this one.
So another thing, we'll make it quick, but again, world major race, another star, Tokyo. Carlos was up for his 6th world major star.
Hey guys, that is all for this episode of the Let's Talk About It All podcast. Stay tuned to the show so you can see the next episodes where Smin, Alci, and I keep talking about all the majors and our trips to these amazing cities and venues and how we did and what we did in during these trips and in these races. If you like the show, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit that bell icon so you get notification when we release new episodes. You can follow us on Instagram at Let's Talk About It.all. You can also visit our website, letstalkaboutitall.com. On that website, you can see all the episodes that we released on videos. You can listen to all the episodes that we released on podcast form. You can access the contact us form and let us know what you think about the show or maybe on a specific topic that you want us to cover. And remember, destiny does not wait for anyone. You have to go out there and make it happen. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode.